We've long defined ourselves as the tool makers, the clever apes who picked up a rock and changed the world. But what if that's just a story we tell ourselves? Well, this episode dives into the incredible and often surprising world of animals that use tools. We'll meet crows that craft their own hooks, otters with their favorite anvils, and dolphins with a clever trick for a sore nose. This isn't just a list of fun facts, it's an invitation to rethink intelligence itself and to think the spark of ingenuity in the eyes of the creatures we share this planet with. I'm Danny, and this is a new episode of Sparkcast. So what makes you so special? What is the one thing that truly separates us, humans, from every other living thing on this planet? For centuries, the answer seemed obvious. Tools. We were the brilliant thinkers, the ones who looked at a rock and saw a hammer, the ones who looked at a stick and saw a spear. It was a comforting thought. It placed us firmly at the top of the pyramid, the undisputed champions of ingenuity. But what if that pyramid is built on a myth? What if the world is full of tiny, feathered, and furry engineers that we simply refuse to see? Prepare to have your definition of special completely rewired, because we're about to explore the vast and clever world of animals that use tools. For the longest time, the definition of a tool was conveniently narrow, crafted to keep our exclusive club, exclusive. A tool had to be an object modified for a purpose. Then in the 1960s, a young researcher named Jane Goodall sat in the forests of Gombe and watched a chimpanzee named David Greybeard. He carefully selected a twig, stripped it of its leaves, and then inserted it into a termite mound. When he pulled it out, it was covered in delicious protein-rich termites, which he promptly ate. It was a thunderclap moment in science. Goodall famously sent a telegram to her mentor, Louise Leakey, who replied with a line that would change everything. Now we must redefine tool, redefine man, or accept chimpanzees as humans. The line in the sand had been washed away. Once we knew what to look for, we started seeing it everywhere, especially among our primate cousins. It turns out chimps are regular tool-using pros, using rocks to crack open nuts and leaves as makeshift sponges to drink water. But they're not alone. In Brazil, capuchin monkeys have been using stone tools for at least 3,000 years, creating what is essentially a stone age of their own. They select specific rocks to use as hammers and others to use as anvils, passing this knowledge down through generations. It's culture. Orangutans, the thoughtful red-haired apes of the forest, have been observed using leaves as gloves to handle spiky fruit and even using bunches of leaves to amplify their calls, like a natural megaphone. This isn't just instinct. It's learning, it's problem-solving, it's cleverness. But if you think this is just a monkey see, monkey do situation, you need to meet the birds. Specifically, the New Caledonian crow. These birds are, without exaggeration, feathered geniuses. They don't just use tools, they manufacture them. They will snap off a twig, trim it to the perfect length, and then bend one end into a hook to fish grubs out of logs. Well, let that sink in. They see a problem, they design a tool to solve it, and then they build it. Some have even been observed making tools out of sharp, serrated leaves. This isn't just using an object, it's understanding physics. And they're not the only ones. Egyptian vultures will pick up rocks and drop them from a height to crack open tough ostrich eggs. The ingenuity isn't limited to mammals. It has taken flight. Alright, so apes and birds are smart, but surely tool use stops at the water's edge, right? Well, think again. Sea otters, those adorable whiskered balls of fluff, have a favorite trick. They will dive down, grab a tasty sea urchin or clam, and also pick up a specific rock. Then while floating on their backs, they place the rock on their chest and use it as a personal anvil, smashing the shellfish against it until it cracks. They even have favorite rocks they will tuck into a little pouch under their armpits to use again later. And then there are the dolphins. In Shark Bay, Australia, bottlenose dolphins have learned to tear off a piece of sea sponge and fit it over their rostrum, their beak, to protect it from scrapes as they forage for food on the rocky seafloor. It's a learned skill, passed down almost exclusively from mothers to their daughters. It's a tool, a tradition, and a testament to an intelligence thriving in a world completely alien to our own. So what does all this mean? It means our definition of intelligence has been far too human-centric. We tend to value the kind of intelligence that builds skyscrapers and writes symphonies, but we overlook the intelligence that allows a crow to bend a twig into a hook or an octopus to carry coconut shells around for portable armor. Yes, they do that too. Tool use in animals forces us to recognize that there are many different kinds of smart in the world. It's not a linear scale with humans at the top. It's a rich, diverse tapestry of cognitive skills, each one perfectly adapted to solve the unique problems of that animal's life. So, are we still special? Now, hearing all this, it's easy to feel a little less special. But that's the wrong way to look at it. Human tool use is extraordinary, but not for the reason we thought. The difference isn't that we use tools. The difference is what we do with them. A chimpanzee uses a rock to crack a nut. A human uses a rock to chip an arrowhead, which they use to hunt, which allows their brain to grow, which eventually allows them to build a fire, smelt the rock for its ore, and build a machine that can take them to the moon. The human superpower is cumulative culture. We don't just learn from our parents. We learn from millions of people we will never meet, building on an ever-expanding mountain of knowledge. An otter doesn't use its rock to build a better rock. We do. That's our unique magic. Well, discovering that we're not alone in our cleverness doesn't diminish us, of course. It elevates the entire world. It turns a walk in the woods or a day at the beach into a treasure hunt for ingenuity. It means the world is more complex, more interesting, and more magical than we ever imagined. It invites us to look at the other beings we share this planet with, not as lesser creatures, but as fellow problem solvers, each with their own stories, their own cultures, and their own sparks of genius. So here's a thought to take with you. The next time you see an animal, any animal, pause for a moment. Instead of just seeing what it is, ask yourself, what do you know that I don't? What problem have you figured out today? Let me know in the comments. Has an animal ever surprised you with its cleverness? I'd love to hear your stories. I'm Danny, and this was another episode from Sparkcast. I'll see you next time.